How y'all doing, good people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscriber. So please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. Hey, if you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, get down to that description box. Click on that Instagram link, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. And give me a follow on Instagram. Got the new Instagram page, Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor. It replaces the old Instagram page, which was Richard Fain 28. That page was disabled back in December of 2023. So I created this new page, and right now it's coming along. You know, we got about 4,300 followers. So a lot of you guys are starting to migrate over from the old disabled page over to the new Instagram page. So if you want to keep up with me when I'm not on YouTube, get down to the description box, click on that Instagram link, Richard Fain Millionaire Instagram link, and give me a follow. And let me know through DM that you're rocking with me. So send me a DM and just say, hey, Richard, I'm rocking with you. And then I will go ahead, of course, and say thank you. Because certainly you don't have to rock with me. You don't have to follow me. You don't have to watch my YouTube videos, but a lot of you do. And I appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for rocking with me over these last 4 years as I've been on this YouTube journey. You guys have changed my life tremendously. I'm appreciative of it. I don't take it for granted. And hopefully every day that I'm on this YouTube platform, whether I'm doing live streams or whether I'm doing regular edited content, hopefully I'm delivering information that will help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So do me a big favor, get down in the description box, click on that Instagram link and give me a follow, and then send me a DM to let me know you're rocking with me. Second thing is the website. The website, I just looked at it this morning, looked at some analytics on the website, and I think the website has been up almost 6 weeks. I think Monday, when did I open that thing? I think it's been up almost 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. I think 6 weeks. I think it went live like June 15th or something like that. But since then, like I said, like 150,000 of you guys have already went over and just checked out the website. A lot of you guys have decided to invest in yourself and grab some of the digital products. And from what I've been hearing, people have enjoyed the digital products. Again, these digital products are not designed to be a human being. They're designed to give you information so that you can then turn around and implement that information, right? It's designed to give you a, hey, if I'm trying to figure out how I get my personal credit together, whether I'm trying to repair it or increase the score, that information it will walk you through step by step things that you can do in order to accomplish that. You got to do the work though. No product you buy online, especially not a ebook or a digital product or anything like that, has a human being attached to it. It's information that was prepared by a human being, but then you got to take that information and execute on it. A lot of you have done that, and from what I've been hearing, it's been great. Now, if you're somebody that, don't really like to read stuff and follow directions and you're not good at implementing, you're not good at executing, then it's probably not the right fit for you. You might have to go find your human being somewhere. I can't be that human being unless you're over in my private mentorship club. So that's why I did the website. For all of you guys who do like doing self-study and doing things on your own and you can execute and you don't really need a mentor, then the products are great for that because they're going to give you step by step what you need to do, and you just need to go out and implement it. So that has been a big hit, the website. So thank you guys for checking that out. and buying those digital products. It's been wonderful. And I plan on continuing to add more digital products so that we can give you more opportunities to grab financial information that you can then self-study and execute, right? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, the website is there and available for you to grab products, financial products that can help you get to your pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The key though is you got to be able to take that information and then act on it. You can't just buy the product, read it, and do nothing. That's not going to work. Oh, Richard, I read the product, but I did nothing. What can you do to help me? No, you got to do something to help you. This is the thing, guys. Not one person or one individual or a group of individuals can take control of your financial destiny. You got to do that. And this is one of the things on this channel I try to encourage you guys to do. I try to add value by helping you execute on your own. That's how you get to wealth, guys. You can't have somebody tell you every single thing you need to do to get to wealth. You got to get some necessary steps, and then you got to get out there and figure it out. But the blueprint is here. But nobody can work that blueprint for you but you. So please remember that, guys. There is nobody you can pay any amount of money that will take on your financial freedom for you. I don't care how much you pay them. They can't. You have to take it on. You have to take it on. And I'm not saying you can't pay people to do that. If you want to pay people to get around the right people that you believe can get you to freedom, it's your money. You do what you got to do. I spoke with a guy yesterday, really sharp guy, very successful guy. He's paid a bunch of money to get around the right people in these mentorship groups that he's decided to join. I mean, a lot of money. For him, it's money well spent because it put him in the room with the real movers and shakers he needed to be around in order to make his business grow. The key though is you gotta be an executor when you get in that room. This guy was an executor. He didn't just pay a bunch of money to somebody and sit there and act like they're supposed to make him successful. No, he paid the money so he could get around the people to get the information. Then he went and executed. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You can't sit around and get information from people and then you do nothing with it. And then all of a sudden, oh, that was a waste of time. That didn't work. It's not going to work if you don't do nothing. Remember this, guys. You were responsible for your financial freedom. That's just the truth. You are 100% responsible for it. There's nothing wrong with going out and getting information. But if you don't do anything with that information, guys, it means nothing. Right? So keep that in mind. That website I created means nothing if you're not going to pull the trigger and do something with the information to better your financial life. It means nothing. Don't buy anything. Don't even go over there. Don't even go over there unless you're ready to take control of your financial freedom. Richard, I need information. I need to understand that information, then I'm going to go execute. That's the key, right? So if you're interested in that, get over to the website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Click on the website link, check out the digital products, and decide if you want to make an investment in yourself and in your financial future. That is on you, right? But if you do make that investment, be ready to execute. The next thing at the website is the private mentorship club. That's where I am having my mentorship group, right? And I got a great group of folks in there that are helping each other, that are encouraging each other. And of course, I'm in there every day, all day, right? Adding my bid in, making posts, answering direct messages that are sent to me. And I encourage all of my private mentorship club members to send me direct messages. That's how they're going to learn. That's how they're going to get the information. That's how they're going to get their questions answered. Not that they can't talk to each other, they can. But here's the thing, guys. If you're trying to get somewhere, try to find people that are already there. Try to surround yourself by people that are headed in that direction. and people that are already there. Where a lot of my folks are trying to get, I've been there. I did it for 30 years. I went through all the road obstacles. I've hit all the financial bumps. I've even fell in a couple holes, potholes, big old gigantic potholes, financial potholes. I fell in them, climbed back out of them. So I got experience that I can share with you. That doesn't mean I'm some expert though. What it does mean is I got 30 years of experience doing this on my own with no financial degrees, no extra training, none of that stuff. And I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that. I'm just telling you, if you're looking for a guy who has just done this for 30 years and has paid the price so that you don't have to pay as big of a price, that's what the mentorship club is for. And again, everybody don't agree with me and everything I do on the mentorship club, and they don't have to. It's your financial freedom. It's your goals. I'm just there to lend my expertise. If you need them, great. If you don't need them, no big deal. If you're just there to be around people who want to go the same place you're going so you can have that atmosphere around you, it's perfect for that, right? Because that's what we got over there, and that's what we're going to continue building. So, but that's the only way I do mentoring is through that private mentorship club. So if you want me to be in your gang of five, if you want me to be on your financial team and you want to have access to me 7 days a week, 365 days a year, that's how you get it. So you can send me as many questions as you want. I had a gentleman the other day sent me, as a matter of fact, it was yesterday, in a direct message, he sent me this whole snapshot of what's going on with him in his life, financial life. And he and I are having a dialogue about that. So I looked at it, I gave him some feedback. I said, hey, go put this together and then get back with me and let's take another look at it. That's what I do. But if you don't utilize me to do that, I can't help you. You're just over there to be over there, but I can't help you. You have to utilize me, but you got to utilize me by contacting me through direct message through the in the Discord. That's what you got to do, right? The people that do that, great. I love it because that's what I do all day long. I enjoy doing that. That doesn't mean I'm the expert. Hey, Richard, what should I do in a tax situation with that's not my expertise, guys. You got to go get a CPA to do that. So I'm not afraid to tell you when something I can't do or I can't advise you on. I can't advise you on tax questions because I'm not a CPA. You got to go to a CPA to get that. Now, what I can do is I can tell you what I'm doing in my situation. I'm a business owner. Here's how I've been handling it. That doesn't mean it's the same way you're going to handle it, but this is what I'm doing to handle that for my business. This is how I'm using my business to be able to invest in my retirement long term. This is what I'm doing in my business to take advantage of certain tax breaks and certain tax deductions. May not work for you, but I can give you what I do. And then my recommendation always is go talk with your CPA, right? So that's what I do over in that private mentorship group, guys. I make myself available 7 days a week, 365 days a year for my members, for my mentorship members to be able to contact me directly. And let's have a dialogue about your personal financial situation. And then guess what? You got the larger group there for everything else, right? They're there celebrating each other's success. They are encouraging one another. That's what we want to be around. So get yourself over to the website, www.richardfain.net. Grab some of those digital products. Make sure you consider joining the private mentorship group if you want to be mentored by me. If you don't want to be mentored by me, don't go over there. And that's okay. If you do not want to be mentored by me, the videos are good enough for you, don't go over there, guys. Same thing with the website. If you ain't, listen, Richard, I don't need no website stuff. I'm just going to watch the videos and I'm going to execute. I've been executing and that's what I'm going to stick with. Perfect. Don't go over there. It's okay, guys. I only want people over there who need that additional help. And they're not afraid to say, Richard, hey, here's where I am, but I need some additional help. Can you help me? Those are the folks I need over there because those are the folks I can help. If you're smarter than me and you believe you're more of an expert than me, then don't go over there, guys, because I'm not looking for a bunch of experts. I'm not. I'm just looking for regular people who want to get to their wealth and want to use me to help them. If you believe you know more than me and you already built your wealth, then create your own channel and go get your own mentorship group. I don't need 5 mentors in there. I just need people in there who recognize what I can bring to the table and they want me to help them get there. If you don't need my help, then you probably shouldn't be in there, honestly, right? You probably shouldn't be in there because it is the Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Mentorship Group. So if you don't need my help, then you probably shouldn't be there. Or I'm not saying the people that are there, I'm just saying the people who would consider going there. You probably shouldn't go there if you don't need my help, right? You can just watch the videos, which is perfect. Well, all right, guys, last thing, Moo. Let's talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to move on to what I want to talk about today with these banks and a couple other things. So Moo, my self-directed brokerage app that I'm going to be using over the next 10 years to triple my net worth, I've been using it since late January. That's when I made the switch from Webull to Moo, late January, and I've not looked back. I love the Moo platform. For me, it's user-friendly, it's easy to use because I don't do a lot. Only thing I do is I go on there and I do what? I buy my assets, I buy my paper assets, and that's it. That's what I do. And if there's something that I need to know, I go into their learning center, check out their tutorials, check out all the information they got on every single thing you need to do to be able to be an effective self-directed investor. So I use that. But the main thing I use is the trading platform where I just buy my assets. And I just keep doing that every month. So that's the main thing I use it for. And I would ask you to give it a shot. If you're brand new at this thing, you're just starting to get going, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of you guys have already done. And most of y'all have sent me emails through the website saying, hey, Richard, we're signed up, put my money in, send me those tutorial videos, send me your blueprints so I can get ready to go. And I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks, man, right? And it's been great. So get down in the description box and click on that Moo link. If you put $100 in, you get 5 free stocks. If you put $1,000 in, you get 15 free stocks. Publicly traded companies, right? Moo randomly picks the stocks, right? They can range anywhere from $2 up to $2,000. I can't guarantee you anything, and that's not what you should hang your hat on. You shouldn't hang your hat, oh, I'm gonna go sign up for this just to get the free stocks. No, that's the wrong reason to sign up. Don't sign up. The real reason to sign up is because you're trying to get to wealth. You're trying to build wealth. You're trying to use this brokerage app to buy paper assets consistently month in and month out to build wealth. If that's not the reason you're doing it, guys, don't sign up. Don't. Them 15 free stocks they give you are not going to be enough to retire you. It's not going to be enough to make a really significant difference in your financial life. It's just an added bonus, a extra for you signing up. Just like when you go to your grocery store, it's like a BOGO, right? Hey, you buy a can of this, you buy 2 cans of this, we're gonna give you a can of this. Why are they giving you that free can? Because they want you to buy the 2 cans. This is, they want you to use their brokerage app. So they're saying, hey, try us out. And if you try us out and you like us, hey, we're gonna give you some free stock for trying us out. That's what it is. Let's do it for the right reasons though. Do not go over there and sign up for anything unless you're ready to change something in your financial life and you want to use paper assets to do it. Then get down to the description box and sign up. And then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Send me the email and say, Richard, I signed up for the Moo brokerage app. I put my money in it and I'm ready to change something in my financial life. But I need you to help me. And then I'm gonna send you those tutorial videos so that you learn how to use the app. It's perfect, guys. These tutorial videos, I haven't got any negative feedback from anybody because guess what? Moo did them. Moo put together these tutorials. The people who built the app, who control the app, who run the app, they put them together and they walk you right through how to use it and how to start buying paper assets. And then on top of that, you're going to get my wealth transfer blueprint videos, which outline the investments that I purchase and that I will be purchasing over the next 10 years. So listen, man, if you want to collapse time frames and get to that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you need a good brokerage account to do that. Now, some of you guys out here that have been rocking and doing this thing for years, you don't need it because you already got one. Just keep executing. But if you want to open one, just to have a second one, just to, let's say you want to just buy NVIDIA and you don't want that a part of the rest of your stuff you're doing over here on a different brokerage app, but you just want to be able to do one thing over here on the Moomoo app, you can do that. That's the neat thing about it, guys. You can have more than one brokerage account. I got 4 of them, and I use them all. Moomoo is my primary one, though, but I use them all. I don't close any of them. I just have different things in them, and I do different purposes with them. So it's okay to have more than one. The key, though, is use the thing. Use the thing to help you build wealth, right? So get down to the description box, click on that Moomoo link, and let's get ready to rock and roll. And then send me that email through the website. Well, all right, man, let's dive into these meat and potatoes and get into these major banks again, man. I keep telling y'all, these banks, you better watch out for them. You better know where you got your money at. And this is no scare tactic. This is no gloom and doom tactic. I'm just telling you, be careful out here with these banks. Because a lot of these banks have a lot of exposure to commercial real estate loans. A lot of exposure. And this commercial real estate loan thing is starting to get ugly because interest rates ain't coming down anytime soon fast enough in order to save them. A lot of these people took loans out back in the day, 2020, 2021, when rates were dirt cheap. Now these loans are coming due in 24, 25, they're coming due, and they're gonna reset at a higher interest rate, and these people cannot afford to make the loan payment. And guess what that's doing? They're starting to default on the loans. And guess who got these loans? Banks. And guess what a bank get the money from to lend them this money for the loan? You. You get it from you, your deposits. So let's talk about this. Moody's, which is a well-known credit rating agency. They rate credit, right? Credit rating agency. Like, AAA, AA, that kind of stuff, right? Moody's puts 6 U.S. regional banks on downgrade review over commercial real estate exposure. So Moody's, they rank these banks. They rate them. They give them a credit rating. They're downgrading them. That ain't good, guys. That is not good. When they downgrade you, that means something wrong. And you don't want your bank on this downgrade list, or I'm telling you, you do not want your bank on this downgrade list. So here's the thing. Let's talk about it. Let's see what Moody's has uncovered. Ratings agency Moody's placed ratings of 6 U.S. regional banks on review for downgrade on Thursday, due to their substantial exposure to commercial real estate loans. Let's just back up here and figure out why they got such a large exposure to real estate loans. So just a little FYI, you got large banks, you got medium-sized banks, you got small banks. Now your large banks, what I like to call your tier 1 banks, your too big to fail banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, Citibank, right? US Bank, your big boy too big to fail banks, they have at least 75 to 100 different lines of business. What does that mean, Richard? 75 to 100 different lines of business. That means that's how many ways their bank generates revenue. See, these big boy banks, they don't just generate revenue from loans. They generate revenue from 75 to 100 different ways. Loans is one of them, but it's not the only one. But as you go down to these regional banks or these medium-sized banks and these small banks, they got about 2 or 3 different ways to make money. So you go from 75 to 100 ways to make money down to like 3. When you get to these little banks and these regional sized banks, which I like to call mid-sized banks, medium-sized banks. So what these medium-sized banks and these little banks do, they take your deposits, because this is the primary way they make money, guys. They take your deposits and they go give them to people through loans. And they give a lot of it to these people who buy these commercial real estate properties, whether it be multifamily, whether it be industrial properties, whether it be retail properties, whether it be office properties, whether it be special purpose properties like theme parks and places like that. They go take your money and they give it to them to go buy property. Now, these people that they give this money to, what do? They're supposed to operate that property, generate revenue from the tenants, pay their expenses, including the loan from your bank. But here's what happens. When these people took these loans out, they had a lower interest rate. So their interest rate probably was in that 3 to 4% range, 4.5% range. Let's say it was 4%. Let's say they got this loan a few years ago and it was a 4% interest rate and it was fixed for 5 years, or let's say 3 years. Because see, with commercial real estate lending, you don't get a 30-year fixed rate mortgage like you do when you go buy your house, or when you buy a rental property, or a residential rental property, 1 to 4 family. You don't get a 30-year fix, not in the commercial loan space. What you get is you get like a 3-year loan. You get like a 5-year loan. You can get like a 7-year loan. And if you're a really, really, really good customer, they may give you a 10-year loan. But see, all of those loans come due at some point. Either the interest rate expires or the entire loan expires and you have to get reapproved for a new one. In this case, a lot of these people, their interest rate is expiring. Why don't they get a 30-year? Because banks and lenders know that when you make a loan to me to buy my house, that's a safer loan because that's where I live. I might let the car get repossessed. I might not pay the credit card companies, but I'm gonna pay this mortgage because this is where I live and my family lives. So it's a lower risk loan. They don't mind giving you 30 years on that. But with these commercial properties, don't nobody really live there. Not the owner of it. He ain't living in his industrial building. He ain't living in it. In more cases than not, he probably got more than one industrial building. He probably got other stuff. So if the economy goes to crap, the first thing that goes bad is what? These commercial real estate loans. Why? Because people say, hey man, my back against the wall, my rate changed, it's higher than it was, so my cash flows impacted. Some of my tenants left. Can't pay you guys. Here's the property back. Guess what? He's gonna go home and go to sleep in his bed or her bed because that's not where they sleep at their commercial building. Plus, if you're a tenant in that commercial building and your small business gets in trouble, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna say, hey, Richard, appreciate you, love being a tenant in your building over here, but the economy has went south, my business has went down in revenue, I can't afford to pay you $3,000 or $3,500 a month, no more in rent. I'm gonna run my business from my house. Thank you very much, here go your keys. So now you just lost 3 or 4 tenants, which is revenue that you need to pay the bank their loan. That's what's happening. As these loans get ready to renew, the rate is going from 4% to 8%. It's doubling. Their cash flow can't take that. Can't take it. Plus, they may not have the occupancy they had when they originally took the loan out. Maybe they got more vacancy. Maybe more people have decided to say, hey, Richard, here go the keys. I don't want to rent your property anymore. I'm just going to run my business from my house. Or altogether, they may say, hey, I'm closing down shop. It's just, we can't do this no more. I got to find something else to do. So a lot of these commercial real estate properties are losing tenants. So let's keep reading. So here's some of the banks that could be in trouble, that are in trouble. That could be, they've been downgraded. First Merchants Corp, FNB Corp, Fulton Financial Corp, Old National Bank Corp, PPAC, Gladstone Financial Corp, and WAFD were placed on review. Now, some of y'all might say, golly, I've never heard of that place, because that's probably the holding company. It's banks underneath it in the holding company. So you may not have heard of it, but it's probably just a holding company, right? A lot of times what these people do when they start these banks, they develop a holding company, right? And that's the name you see, but underneath that holding company is the actual bank that operates. It might be a different name, right? It may be a different name. So you may have never heard of some of these regional size or small banks, but it doesn't mean your bank ain't in there. So what you probably want to do is go double check to make sure, go to Moody's. You can go to Moody's online, www.moodys.com. You can go to Moody's and find out what the rating of your bank is. Moody's will have that on their website. So whatever your bank is, you can go to Moody's, put it in there, and read what Moody's says about them as a bank. That's what I would be doing. Oh no, my bank is wonderful. When I walk in there, they give me cookies, or they give my dog treats, and they got the same teller that's been there for 15 years. She loves me. The problem is, those ain't the people who run the bank. They work there. They don't have no idea what that bank is doing. The people who actually make the decisions, they're not the ones that giving you the cookies when you walk in there. Mary giving you the cookies. She's been a teller. She's a sweet lady. I'm sure she's amazing. But Mary don't run the bank. Mary don't make the decisions where your money is being lent to. That's the problem. So don't get fooled when you walk in these banks, because people are super duper nice. They're petting your little dog. They're sending little doggy treats through the drive-through window. Listen, man, those people don't run the bank. They work there, and I'm sure they're amazing people, but they don't make the real decisions at that bank. Anybody you can walk in there and look at when you walk in that front door, they don't make no decisions at that bank. Maybe them people back there in the back somewhere make the decision, but them people in the front don't make no decisions, guys. They're worker bees. They're not the queen bee. The queen bee is back there somewhere hid or in some other building somewhere else in some location in some other state. You just don't get to walk in and see the queen bee. You might be able to walk in and see the worker bees, but you're not going to walk in and see the queen bee. Those are the people who make the decision, the queen bees. So the queen bees take your money and they lend it out to people like me and other real estate investors. Why do they do that, Richard? Well, they do it because they're trying to make a return on your deposits. That's how they make money. They make money from interest income. And they make money from what they call non-interest income. Those are two ways most of your little medium-sized and small banks make money. Interest income, non-interest income. What is interest income? When they lend that money to that commercial real estate investor, let's say they lend them $5 million. So those $5 million are your deposits. My deposits, your deposits, the rest of the people who put their money in there. That is our deposits. So they take our deposits and they lend them to somebody, and let's say they lend it to them at an 8% interest rate. So that person who they gave that $5 million to, every month until that loan comes due or they pay it off, they are going to pay that bank 8% on that $5 million. And as they pay the principal off, the interest still stays 8%, but it's just on a smaller loan amount. Every month the loan amount gets a little smaller, but you still get the 8%. It's like a contract. I got an 8% contract for this loan for 3 years. I got an 8% contract on this loan for 5 years. So I got to pay that to the bank. That's how the bank makes money, with your money. Now, they may pay you a little bit on your money market. They may not. Right? Now, there is a cost to hold your deposits. That's subtracted from the 8%, but it's very little, maybe 2%. To hold your deposits, and the cost associated with holding your deposits is about 2%. They're charging 8%. So they get 6% net, not their money, and they're making 6% off your money. That's how banks make money. The medium-sized ones and the little ones. That's the primary way they make money. The other way they make money is what they call non-interest income, non-interest income, where they charge you monthly maintenance fee to have your checking account. They charge you for checks. You go order checks. I just had to order some checks on my business account. $35 they charge me for those checks. That's non-interest income. You know doggone well the bank don't pay $35 for them checks. They probably pay $3 for them, but they charge me $35. That's how they make money. So little banks and medium-sized banks, those are really the two main ways they make money. Now your big boy banks, they make money in a lot of different ways because they're big boys. They got trading desks, they got Forex desks, they got international investment desks. They trade derivatives. They do M&A, mergers and acquisitions, where they get hired by big companies to broker a deal, and they get a big old gigantic check for brokering that deal. They get paid a lot of different ways. These little bitty banks, these little medium banks, they don't have that. Only the big boys do that, right? So they don't have as much exposure to commercial real estate because they don't have to. Little banks, the way they make their money is through commercial real estate lending. Most of them. How do you know that, Richard? Because I worked in the banking industry for 25 years and I was a commercial real estate, a commercial banker. I was a lender. I worked for some of these regional sides and small banks. That's how they made their money. That's how we made our money. It's through loans, right? So these guys are getting in trouble. These banks have substantial concentration in CRE loans. What do they mean by that? When you go look at the balance sheet. So you look at the balance sheet. Here's what's going to be on the balance sheet: assets and liabilities. Those are the two main things you're going to see on the balance sheet, right? So on the balance sheet of a bank, what's an asset? Somebody tell me what the asset is in the chat. What is one of the assets that show up on a bank's balance sheet? What is an asset? Right? What is an asset that shows up on a bank's balance sheet? That would be the loans. The loans that they make with your money is an asset. That's one of the assets that show up. The loans are an asset. Why are they an asset, Richard? Why? Because they make money from them. Remember, I told y'all guys, if it puts money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it takes money out of your pocket, it's a liability. That's how the bank's balance sheet is built. So if it put money in their pocket, which is what? Those loans. They put money in the bank's pocket because they charge an interest rate. What's a liability on a bank's balance sheet? What's considered a liability? That takes money out of their pocket. Deposits. Deposits are a liability. Why? Because they don't belong to the bank and they take money out of the bank's pocket. The deposits belong to the customers. And in many cases, the bank has to pay the customer an interest on those deposits, AKA these money markets y'all are getting right now. 3 and 4% money markets that these little banks are giving you. I saw a story the other day by CoffeeZilla on YouTube, where it was talking about these little bank, one little bank and a middleman and some other whatever little outfit up here. Everything's been frozen. All the customer deposits have been frozen. Customers can't even get the deposits back because the middleman and the bank are in a dispute. The customer is left hanging, can't get their deposits back right now. They're frozen. Oh, they're FDIC insured. Here's the problem with that, though. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with the FDIC insured. The only way the FDIC insurance kicks in, guys, is if the bank fails. And in this case that CoffeeZilla talked about on his YouTube channel, the bank hadn't failed. They're in a dispute with the middleman who deals with the customer. So these people have deposited their money with some outfit, some little that's why I tell y'all about these online people, guys. Listen, man, you better be careful. They deposited their money in some little online thing. The online business has a little middleman who deals with the bank. So you give your money to the online business. The online business has a relationship with the middleman who is not the bank, and then the middleman has a relationship with the bank. Problem is the bank and the middleman are in a dispute, and the customers can't get their money. Some of these people got their life savings in there. Some of these people can't pay rent. Yeah. So you get online if you want to, chasing these little 4%, 3%, and 4% return. Oh, they got a money market at ABC Online Bank. I'm gonna get 4%. That says FDIC insured. You better make sure there ain't no middleman in there that they're not telling you about. Because here's the problem. If the middleman gets in trouble and the bank and the bank didn't fail, where they're telling you they got this FDIC insurance, but the middleman fails and the bank says, oh no, y'all are out of y'all luck. We've been transferred that money back to the middleman. We didn't fail. See, FDIC insurance don't cover you guys unless the bank fails. The middleman fails, or your little outfit up here, who is not a bank, fails, you stuck like Chuck. You're not getting no money from the FDIC. FDIC only honors that when banks fail, not some whatever you put your money in. You better make sure it's a real bank and ain't got this crazy little middleman in the middle, because I'm telling you, if that middleman fails or this little outfit you got fails and the bank don't fail, you not getting a dime from FDIC. Not one dime. So be careful who you're messing with, guys, online. I'm telling you, you better figure out who you, stop chasing this little 3 or 4% return and not doing your due diligence and understanding who you got your money with. Oh, no, I'm FDIC insured. No, you're not. If that bank don't fail, who actually is the bank they're trying to say. See, what these companies do, these little online outfits, this is what they do. This is how they fool you. These little online outfits will put on their propaganda that they're FDIC insured. Why? Why do they do that? They put it in the propaganda because, yes, a bank actually holds the money. The problem with the FDIC is if that bank isn't failed, let's say they do have the bank with the money with the bank, but they transfer it somewhere to do something with it and it leaves the bank, guess what happens? And if that deal goes bad, you don't get your money back from FDIC because the bank didn't fail, right? So read the fine print. Just because people are posting, oh, we're FDIC insured, doesn't mean you're really FDIC insured, right? So be careful. These banks have substantial concentration in CRE loans. So we've already talked about the balance sheet. Loans are liabilities because they belong to the customers. Loans are assets because the bank earns interest. Deposits are liabilities because they belong to the customer. So these banks have substantial concentration in CRE loans, which are facing asset quality and profitability pressures with higher for longer interest rates, rising long-standing risk, especially during cycle downturns, Moody said in a separate statement. So in essence, they're just telling you with rates being higher for longer, that's putting pressure on these properties. So you got to understand 95% of the businesses in America are small businesses. Companies that have less than 500 employees and do less than $7 million a year in revenue. A lot of these commercial real estate properties are packed with these type of tenants. Here's the thing, guys. Most of these tenants borrow money to grow. They borrow money to pay payroll. And with interest rates so high, they can't borrow money, or their business has deteriorated to the point where banks won't lend them any more money. Bank has called their line of credit that they've used for years to support their accounts receivable collection. But the bank has called the line of credit now. They don't have it no more. Because you got to remember, on an accounts receivable aging report, you may do the work today, but you may not collect money for 30, 60, 90 days, depending upon what your contract is for that customer, guys. And what do companies do? They use a line of credit from a bank to be able to support their operations so they collect their receivables. But if your bank comes to you and says, hey, Richard, we love you. I know you've been with us for 10 years, but hey, I'm sorry to tell you, but we got to cut back on that line of credit that we've extended you for the last 5 years. We can't do it anymore. You got to find a different bank to support your accounts receivable. We can't do it. We can't give you the line of credit. That's what happens though, guys. And most small businesses, we know they fail for two reasons, right? They fail for two reasons. Lack of knowledge and being undercapitalized. Those are the two reasons mainly small businesses fail. And not lack of knowledge in the actual thing that they do, but lack of knowledge of how to actually run a business. Two different things. I might be a good mechanic. Can fix anything. But being a good mechanic and being a good business owner are two different things. I might be the world's best mechanic, but I could be the world's worst business owner. Small businesses fail because people are good at their trade, but they're not real good at actually running a real business. And they're undercapitalized. So that's what's happening to a lot of these people as these interest rates are higher. These banks are coming in, they're calling loans, they're not extending lines of credit. So small business owners are starting to say, well, what do I do? And I already told you that most of them are undercapitalized. So that means they got no reserves. There is no reserve money. They use the bank in order to be their reserve money, whether it be through a line of credit or some type of borrowing facility, right? Especially somebody that is selling widgets on terms. If I'm selling somebody something, but I don't collect the money for 30 days or 60 days, a lot of retailers out there will know what I'm talking about, right? I send my product somewhere, they got 60 days to pay me. And if I ain't careful, they also write into the contract where they could send the crap back to me and never pay me if it don't sell through. So it's a constant struggle for these small businesses to try to figure out how do I get capital, and how do I keep this business growing, right? And that's what we're running into. That's what commercial real estate landlords are running into, because these tenants, these small business tenants are having problems because interest rates are so high. They can't borrow money cheaply, or banks are starting to tighten up their lending guidelines. Richard, hey, yeah, I know last year we were able to let you slide with that, but this year, nah, your cash flow looks a little tight. And the banking committee, they're not comfortable with that $1 million line of credit anymore. We can only give you $250 this year. Well, golly, Mr. and Mrs. Bank, $250 won't do it. I mean, I got a payroll that's $100,000 a month. See what I'm saying? So these are the things we're starting to run into with commercial real estate, right? It all ties in, right? Small businesses, landlords, interest rates, everything. So here we go. During the low interest rate environment prior to the onset of the Federal Reserve's rate hike cycle. See, before the rate hike cycle, what were interest rates, guys? Fed funds rate, 0. Right? Prior to the Fed started jacking rates in March of 2022, the Fed funds rate was basically 0. So that means I could go to my local bank, get a line of credit at prime plus 0, and I could be in that line of credit for 3%. Now, that same line of credit, still to be in 3% because it's prime plus 0, right? The Fed funds rate the prime rate is 3% higher than the Fed funds rate. So if the Fed funds rate is 0, the prime rate is 3%. So I could go to my bank, if I'm a good customer, I could borrow that, I could get that line of credit at 3%, variable at 3%. Now, guess what? I got to go back in and get it at 8.5%. Because why? The Fed funds rate is 5.5% plus 3, that's 8.5%. I go from a 3% line of credit rate to an 8.5%. Do the math on that. If I got $1 million line of credit that I'm using, I'm on that thing all year long. That's a lot of interest, guys. It's almost 3 times the interest you've been paying. That's why people are in trouble. That's why they're in trouble. And banks know that. So what are banks starting to do? Tighten up the lending guidelines. We ain't going to be the only one out here on the limb. Let's cut down that line of credit. Oh, we historically gave him $1 million. Let's cut him down to $250. That's the best we can do for him. That's how they operate. They don't care how long you've been with them. Right? So that's what's happening. During the low interest rate environment prior to the onset of the Federal Reserve's rate hike cycle, many regional banks chose to build and maintain substantial concentrations in CRE, which is a volatile asset class, said Moody. Here's what happens. Remember, I told you this is the only way they make money, right? Well, one of the 2 ways. So what happens is when interest rates are low, they get greedy. They get greedy. You got to make money some way. You got to take a chance. So they get greedy, they start lending out all this money, right? They lend out all this money. Back in the day when prime rate was 3%, Fed funds was 0, back in 21, started lending out all this money, right? Why? Because they ain't got to pay you nothing because Fed funds rate is 0. They're not gonna pay you no interest rate if the Fed funds rate is 0, right? And if they did pay you something, what, 50 basis points, 25 basis points, 75 basis, not none of this 3 and 4% stuff you're getting right now in some places. They didn't have that back in 21 because the Fed fund rate was 0, right? So here's the thing. They lend out this bunch of money. Why do they lend it out? Because people are like, hey man, give me that loan for 3.5%, 4% all day long. My cash flow is good. I got a property that's full of tenants. I'm good. Give it to me. But it's only a 3-year loan though. So 3 years, 4 years, you back up for a new loan rate. Problem is when you took that little 3 or 4% loan out, that's what your cash flow was based on to get the deal. It wasn't based on 8%. So what happens is you take it out at 4, you do that for 4 years, then it comes time to reset the interest rate, but it's at 8% now. The bank looks at your loan covenants and they say, well, Richard, at a 4% interest rate, you're a 1.5 times on your loan covenant. That was perfect. But at 8%, you're not even a 1-to-1 on your loan covenant, your debt service coverage. You're not even a 1-to-1 at 8%. You either got to bring in more money to pay this loan down so you're in compliance, or we're going to put you in default. That's it, guys. This is what's happening. I was in this industry for 25 years in the commercial real estate loan business. I've had a lot of conversations with clients, especially around 2008 when the last great financial crisis. We had a lot of conversations with clients and their only choice was this. You either bring in your reserve money off the sideline and pay this loan down so that it's within covenant, or we're going to default you. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to go to the courts and start a foreclosure action on you. That's it. That's it. That's what's happening to these people now. They're calling them into the bank and saying, listen here, Mr. or Mrs. Borrower, you're out of compliance. You are not hitting your debt service coverage. You are out of loan to value compliance. Your property has went down in value. You have a 75% loan to value covenant. If you dip below that, if you go higher than that 75% loan to value covenant, you're in default of your loan. We're going to accelerate your loan, or we're going to increase your interest rate because it's in your documents, guys. Go look at your documents. Even on your primary home, your regular home, go look at your loan documents. They got accelerator clauses in there, man. You don't pay those people, that interest rate gets jacked up. Same with commercial real estate loans. But it's even worse for commercial real estate loans. It's even worse. So that's what's happening with people. Bank calling them in. Hey, Richard, love you to death, man, but you're out of compliance. One, you've lost 3 tenants, so your occupancy rate has went from 100% to 60%. You lost 40% of your clients. So that means you lost 40% of your revenue, your rental income. To make cases even worse, you're out of loan to value compliance because you're skyrocketed because of your vacancy. Plus, you're out of debt service. You didn't hit your debt service coverage. So now you got 2 compliance issues. How do you remedy that? Most clients would remedy it because they would bring in cash to pay the loan down, to get back in compliance. That's what cash does. But if you ain't got no cash or you're not willing to put cash in, they're going to take you to court and take your property. In most cases, force you to sell it. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now, or lack thereof. So what's happening now is some of these clients are coming in and saying, hey man, I can't do it, Richard. Here go the keys. Or I'm defaulting on the loan. I'm not paying you. Either you restructure me or take me to court. A lot of these commercial real estate landlords are telling the bank that. That's why you're going to start seeing these delinquencies go up, right? Same thing happened in 2008, a little bit worse. Of course, our economy ain't nowhere near where it was in 2008. We're in better shape than that. But when you got these interest rates that are being reset at these unreasonably high, sometimes double the rate than when you took the loan out, that's what you get. That's what you get. So let's keep reading. During the low interest rate environment prior to the onset of the Financial Reserve's rate hike cycle, many regional banks chose to build and maintain substantial concentrations in CRE, which is a volatile asset class, said Moody. Regional banks with exposure to the beleaguered commercial real estate sector have come under investor scrutiny after New York Community Bank Corp recent turmoil. So you've seen over the last several years, these 4 or 5 regional sized banks fail. That's why they failed. That's one of the main reasons why they're failing, right? And they predict more to fail if these rates don't come down, right? So non-performing CRE loans as a percentage of U.S. banks' portfolios doubled to 0.81% by the end of 2023 from a year earlier. International Monetary Fund said in its semi-annual Global Financial Stability Report in April, banks have continued to increase provisions for bad CRE loans, IMF noted in its report. So what happens is when you start seeing your CRE loan portfolio go sideways on you, what you're required to do is start setting aside capital. Banks have to set aside capital to cover those bad loans. As those bad loans start mounting up, you got to be pulling more and more cash from somewhere to cover them. What happens is a lot of these little regional banks and these small banks don't have the cash. At some point, they hit a brick wall and they don't have the cash to cover these potential bad loans. And that's when the FDIC has to step in and shut them down. So make sure where you got your money with, guys. Again, just trying to give you what's happening out there when you see reports like this or you hear somebody talking about it. I'm giving you my opinion on it. I'm giving you what I believe is happening. I just had 25 years in this industry doing exactly what I just read through here for you. I've worked with a lot of these clients. Like I said, in 2008, when we hit that bad streak in 2008, a lot of these clients, they lost their properties. A lot of banks, that's why you saw all of these problems with banks. And that's why you saw all this legislation trying to tighten the screws on banks to make them have more cash in reserve to have provisions for these bad loans, not allow banks to do all kind of crazy stuff. Now, we're starting to get back to that again, though, because I'm starting to see regulations where they're starting to try to loosen up what banks can do again, which you knew that would happen because banks are one of the biggest lobbyist groups on Capitol Hill. So you knew eventually that would come, right? Banks are one of the biggest lobbyist groups on Capitol Hill, along with pharmaceutical companies and healthcare companies. Those are the two big ones. Yeah, healthcare companies, pharmaceutical companies, and banks. Those are some of your largest people from a lobbying standpoint on Capitol Hill in the ears of your congressmen, congresswomen, and senators, right? Getting them to try to put bills forward that relax regulations on them so they can go out and make more money again and just do whatever they want to do. Hopefully they don't allow that to happen. Here's a quick little story though for you guys who do residential real estate. Airbnb maybe. Here's a horror story for you real quick. I just want to throw this in for those of you who are thinking about the Airbnb platform or other platforms or just renting the property in general, why it's so important for you to know who your tenant is. It's very important if you're going to do real estate. I don't care if it's Airbnb, traditional, or some other type of short-term rental. Long-term rental, short-term rental. You still got to know who your people you're letting in your properties, guys, or you'll experience this nightmare. Here it is. Airbnb renters refuse to leave. Put up a no trespassing sign on a Durham woman's property. So these people get a long-term rental and then they... Be careful out here. Here it is. Here's the story. A month-long Airbnb rental has become a nightmare for the hosts because the renters refuse to leave. A single parent in a triangle is out money and is now having to fight to get her property back. This is an Airbnb rental, guys. I'm telling you, you better know who you're letting in your properties. Now they're refusing to leave until there's an eviction order. Oh yeah. I think they're just trying to gain time to stay there for free. Duh, because they haven't paid. This is what the landlord is saying, the lady who owns the property. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They know their rights better than you know your rights. This all started when Rahim's most recent Airbnb guests made a long-term rental reservation through Airbnb. They checked in on October 25 with a checkout date of May 24. So these people been in this property, man, for like 7 months. I mean, 7 months. Woo! When Rahim's cleaning lady went to clean the rental, the renters were still there. They answered the door and they said, "No, we haven't moved out." She said, this is what the lady's saying, who owned the property. No, this is what the lady's maid said, or house cleaner, the proper terminology, said. They told her, they said, "No, we haven't moved out." She said, "Well, should I come tomorrow?" They said, "No, don't come back." They told the cleaning lady, "Don't even come back no more. Don't come back." So the cleaning lady went and told the owner. So Rahim then went to the rental with the police. She did the right thing. She called the police. She went to her property with the police. Check this out. Rahim then went to the rental with the police, and the renters promised the police officer they would leave first thing in the morning. The next morning, the renters were still not gone. Instead, a handwritten no trespassing sign was on the front door that stated, "We will vacate the property when you file the proper paperwork with the civil magistrate for an eviction, for we are legal residents of this property." This is my place. And I'm counting on this income. My son is in college and I'm a single parent, said the homeowner. Rahim contacted Airbnb. Check this out. For all y'all doing this Airbnb stuff, according to this lady, they wasn't a big help to her. Check this out. Rahim contacted Airbnb for help as she already had another long-term renter booked for the property through Airbnb, ready to move in. She said Airbnb has not been helpful. They're sending me messages as please get help for your safety and get whatever legal help you have to get them out. She said that's what Airbnb sent her in emails. So a troubleshooter reached out to Airbnb several times. I guess this is the people who did the story. They reached out to Airbnb several times, but no one got back to them. Airbnb does have on its website a section devoted to things to consider before hosting monthly stays. Airbnb warns hosts who have guests who stay for a month or longer that they may not be able to remove a guest without going to court. Wow. Wow. How do you like that? How do you like that? But it goes back to what? Knowing who your tenant is, whether it's short-term or long-term, guys. Don't skip the process of doing your proper due diligence on your tenants, short-term or long-term. Don't rely on Airbnb to do it. Don't rely on Verbo to do it. And definitely don't think, oh, I met them in person. They look like a great couple. They're so nice looking. They're so cute together. You don't do no due diligence. All you do is prejudge by looking at them. You don't do no due diligence. Nothing. You don't do no background check. You don't do no credit check. You don't do no employment verification. You don't do none of that. All you do is meet with them, profile them by just looking at them. You just profiling them because you ain't done no background stuff. You ain't done none of that. You just profiling. Oh God, they look nice. clean shaven, looks good. Wow, looks like me. And then you let them right on in your property. And before you know it, they stop paying you. And then all of a sudden they know their rights already before they move in there. You don't know your rights. That's the problem. See, as landlords, we don't know our rights. But that person that's moving in there, I guarantee you, boy, they know their rights. They know their rights. See, they already researched that. They already researched it and they know their rights. Okay, we're in this thing for 6 months and we just stop paying them. It's going to take them another 6 months to get us out of here. So what we'll do, we'll just pay them for 6 months and then we're going to take them through the legal court for the other 6 months. And we'll just get 6 months for free before we move out. You'll eventually get them out. Eventually. But goodness gracious, man, the financial stress you go through, the mental stress you go through to get them out, my goodness. But all of that could have been avoided in most cases if you do what? Proper due diligence. All that can be avoided in most cases because I guarantee you, if they do it to you, they've probably done it to somebody else. If they've skipped on rent on you, they probably skipped on the last landlord. If they had a problem on, with something, they probably did the same thing. All I'm saying, guys, is don't shortcut with these short-term and long-term leases with your properties. If you're going to invite somebody in your home through Airbnb, guys, and especially if you're staying there too, and let's say you're renting them a room, please, guys, know who these people are before you let them in your house. Please know. Please don't just have dollar signs in your mind and you skip all the proper due diligence. I would make sure I when I had all my rental properties back in the day, I had the real estate company that I worked with that would help me source my properties. When I would buy them, I would have them do the tenant thing for me. But I would always have them do background check, credit check, employment verification, and then I would look at it and scrub it, right? Because I said to myself, no. And again, I'm not saying if somebody got bad credit, I wouldn't let them in the property, but I want to know what made up the bad credit. If there's a problem with landlords on there, that they just stiffed somebody, a landlord, and they didn't pay, bye. I don't care what you look like. Boy, you can look like Mother Teresa if you want to. I ain't letting you in my property. If you done stiffed another landlord back in the day, bye. Right? I ain't doing it. Right? If you're on there where you just consistently got stuff on there where you just won't pay your bills, you just won't pay them. Oh, I got repos on there. I got credit card charge-offs on there. It's one thing if you got a bunch of medical collections that just overwhelmed you. That's different. But if you just got recent stuff on there, you around here 30 days late and you trying to get in my, no, man, no. Got to pass on you because your current behavior tells me as soon as you hit a little bump, you ain't gonna pay me the rent. There'd be one thing 2 years ago you had some difficulty. Yeah, 2 years ago, Richard, I got laid off the job or I got hurt, couldn't work for 2 years. And yeah, that stuff you see back in 2 years ago, man, I just hit a bad spot. But you can see since then, I've been clean, man. You ain't look at me over the last year and a half, man. I've been clean. I'm okay with that. But boy, you current on, if you right here ain't paying stuff and you try to get in my property, boy, you won't even pay the light company. You won't pay your credit card bill. You just got your car repossessed. Listen, man, I can't do nothing for you. Got to go to the next one. Because my job is to do what? Make sure I get a good tenant in that property that's going to take care of it, pay me my rent, and give me less of a headache as I can get. I don't need no headaches, right? So please be careful, man, when you're looking at these properties, because I get a lot of people starting to send me information about properties they're starting to look at. Listen, Richard, I'm looking at this multifamily, and I tell them all, listen, man, do the cash flow, and then make sure you vet them tenants, man. That's the most important thing. Vet them tenants, man. Do not take a shortcut on these tenants, man, because these people know their rights more than you know your rights. They do, especially if they done this before. Like these people right here, they knew their rights. They knew exactly what they were going to do. Anytime you go post a no trespassing, it ain't your house. You don't even have a long-term lease, and you don't put up a no trespassing sign. They're telling you right that these people know their rights. See, so be careful. I just thought I'd throw that in there since we were talking about the commercial real estate stuff. I thought I'd just throw that in there to just give y'all that little little tidbit of information, just in case if you're somebody out there trying to buy real estate, or you're thinking about, shoot, man, I'm gonna Airbnb this thing. I'm gonna Airbnb this thing. Maybe I do a 6-month rental for these people so that I can get more money. Just be careful. Just be careful, because clearly Airbnb or any other company like that, they're not going to be very much help if you run into legal problems with these people. You're going to have to take legal action. It could cost you money. Obviously, it's going to cost you time. And then mentally, it's going to take you through the ringer, right? So be careful. Let's move on to the last topic, which we're going to talk about, which is the stock market for last week. Guys, we got to throw in the stock market, right? Because I'm a big stock market guy right now at this point in my investing life. I do a lot of my investing to multiply money through the stock market and through businesses, right? So I want to talk about the stock market a little bit and kind of look back at last week and see kind of what we went through. Obviously, you guys know NVIDIA is one of the big boys I'm buying. And NVIDIA just had its 10-to-1 split on it'll be splitting as of Friday, June 7th. And I think the stock closed at $1,208 or something like that. So on Monday morning, June 10th, when the market opens, that stock will go from $1,208. It'll go down to $120.80 or something like that. So is that an opportunity? I think it is for me and my wealth building journey. I don't know if it's an opportunity for you. You'll have to figure that out. But I think it's a tremendous opportunity for me. I have been reading some stuff online this morning and yesterday where people are starting to say now, oh, this and that. Well, this is what companies have done after they've split. Well, there's 30, what did they say? There's 34 or $38 billion in short positions on NVIDIA. So, but guys, listen, man, people are going to bet against the stock. Just like I'm betting for the stock, there are going to be people out there betting against the stock too. That's just life. That don't mean I'm not going to take my shot because you got people out there that are betting against the stock. There is not one stock out there that ain't people betting against it. Now, don't get me wrong. That's a lot of activity. 38 billion is a lot of activity to be betting against the stock. But that's what's out there. People are betting against it. But ain't nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean the stock is not going to do well because people are betting against it. I still believe the stock has an opportunity to do well. So I'm gonna march forward with my game plan that I already had came up with, and I'm gonna stick to that game plan. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna take my eye off it. I'm not gonna just go to sleep at the wheel. I'm not gonna be around here going to sleep at the wheel. I will be on that thing, looking at it daily, making sure I'm figuring out what's going on, reading everything I can read, making sure I'm going in there, looking at that website and looking at that investor relations, making sure I'm on every earnings call, figuring out what's going on, making sure I'm keeping up with the competition, making sure I'm keeping up with what's going on in the economy, making sure I'm looking at companies like Facebook, companies like Amazon, companies like Alphabet, companies like Microsoft, just to see what are they doing when it comes to this AI thing. Because let's face it now, if this thing is going to do what we needed to do, and I'm saying we because I know a lot of you guys have made the decision that's what you want to do as well, is pursue this stock as part of your portfolio. That's why I say we. We have to just be mindful of what's going on. We can't go to sleep at the wheel, right? The goal here is to do what? At least for me, the goal is to make money, not lose money. So although I want to stay in this thing as long as I can and get the most out of it, the goal for me is to make money and not get greedy. So at any time, and I'm just telling you guys this, and I'm going to put a post on the private mentorship club when I get done. I'm going to make a post. Whenever you feel like you're getting uncomfortable with this thing and you feel like, hey, I'm good, I've done what I need to do, get your butt out. Right? Get your butt out. When you feel like you've reached what you need to reach and you're starting to lose sleep and get uncomfortable, get out. No amount of money is worth that, because that's what I plan on doing. Now, my goal is to stay in this thing 3 to 5 years, take it all the way 10 years. But I'm not going to ignore fundamental things that I need to be aware of when I'm thinking about investing long-term in a stock or ETF or real estate or anything. So I'm not going to just abandon my investing intuition, my gut feeling. I'm not going to abandon that. So just make sure whenever you feel like I've had enough, don't stay in it for somebody else. You get out when you believe you've had enough, you've done what you've needed to do, count your blessings and get on out of that thing. Because what we don't want to have done to do is we don't watch this thing and we just kind of put our money in there and then go on about our life, and then we wake up one morning and something crazy done happened, and you like, well, what happened? What happened? No, don't do that. Now, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm definitely gonna be on this thing every day, all day. Trust me, I got a lot of money in this thing. And it ain't gonna go sideways on me. I'm gonna be watching it like a hawk, right? And if I do feel like it's going sideways, I'm gonna hit the alarm button. I'm gonna hit the emergency button. I'm gonna hit the exit button, so all y'all know. I'm not planning on doing that anytime soon. I'm just having this conversation with you guys so that you don't fall asleep at the wheel. None of us need to fall asleep at the wheel, right? I think it's gonna be a juggernaut, but that doesn't mean it will be, guys. I think it will be. I wouldn't be in it right now. I'd have took my $70,000 worth of profit and I'd have got out. I'm still in. Heavy and gonna be buying more, and I'm okay with that, but I'm gonna watch it. My goal here is to make money, guys. And if Nvidia can make money for me, I'm in it. Whenever I believe it ceases to stop making money for me, I'm out. But like I said, I'm gonna hit the siren. You'll know. If you follow me and you're in my mentorship club and you watch my YouTube videos, when I sound the alarm, you will know that's it for me. I don't plan on doing that anytime soon, but I just want you to know, make sure you're watching this thing, make sure you're paying attention, because it ain't gonna, you're just not gonna wake up one morning and it's gonna lose $2 trillion worth of market share. It don't happen like that. It's over time. Okay, they missed the last earnings. You lose 500 billion. Okay, they missed another earnings. You lose 300 billion. You know, that's kind of how it happens. So you can't just be, oh, it'll come back, it'll come. Fingers crossed it will, but I ain't gonna go out losing no money. Not me. My goal is to make as much money as I can with this stock over the next 10 years. But when I feel like it's just not gonna do it for me, then I gotta get out. Like I said, I will sound the alarm though. But it is a great stock. I'm all in it, 100%. I'm in it now. I'm gonna be in it on Monday, heavy. And let's see what it does. I just wanted y'all to know you got a lot of people betting against it out there. I guess that's my point. There's about $38 billion in short positions. That means people are betting against it. So just know that. Don't panic. I'm not panicked by that. But just know that. There are people betting against this thing, right? I know I'm betting for it because I don't have a short position. I'm betting for it. But there are people betting against it. And I'm pretty sure there's a piece of propaganda that dropped yesterday. I believe it dropped yesterday. Some propaganda about some antitrust lawsuit, some bull, just crap, right? But this is what I'm talking about. This is what these short sellers do now. Especially if and you know they're big boys. You know they're big boys. If it's 38 billion in there, it's big boys. See, these big boys know. These big boys know this thing gonna get flooded, right? Or at least that's what I think. I'm just telling you my opinion. The big boys know it's gonna get flooded, so they're gonna short this thing at some point to try to hit propaganda. So when it starts, that's where they make their money. The worse the stock does, they make their money. The better the stock does, I make my money. So you got two sides of this now. You got big boys over here. $38 billion, guys, a lot of money to be betting against the stock. It's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot, boy. That's a lot. So watch it like a hawk. I'm going to watch it like a hawk. I'm going to watch that thing like a full-grown predator hawk. One of them jokers with the big old wingspan that you see 5 miles down, see a little rat running through the bushes, you up 5 miles. That's the kind of hawk I'm in. I'm going to be watching them just like that hawk. Just like that joker 5 miles up in the air, he can see a little rodent running down on the ground. I'm going to be like that on it. So know that, but don't just depend on me now. You need to be on it too, and you need to be figuring out what's going on as well, right? Capiche? All right, let's keep going. So the S&P 500 ended flat on Friday, touching a record high intraday despite a stronger than expected jobs report. The broad market index slipped 0.11% to close to 5,346.99. Again, guys, that's an all-time high. So know that. That's an all-time high. Right? That is an all-time high. 5,346.99 after reaching an all-time high earlier in the session. The Dow slipped 87 points to 38,798. And then the NASDAQ edged down 0.23%, finishing the session at 17,133. So still all great, guys. Even though ended flat, still great. Ended flat, but still great. All three of the major averages notched a winning streak. The Dow posted 0.29 gain, while the S&P added nearly 1.32%. And the NASDAQ advanced 2.38. So NASDAQ and S&P big winners. Why do I say that? Because if you're in an S&P 500 ETF that tracks the S&P index, you're Gucci. You're doing great. If you're in a tech ETF that's basically tracking the NASDAQ, you're Gucci. You were up. So these are the things, guys, we gotta have in the portfolio, in my opinion, that are our meat and potatoes. This S&P 500 and these sector ETFs should be our meat and potatoes. That should be the main course. NVIDIA, Visa, Chipotle, Mag 7, right? They not the main course. They dessert. They just a little bit of dessert. The main course should be our big boy S&P 500 ETFs with the top 500 companies in America in it. It should be these sector ETFs like, information technology ETFs. Those should be the main course, in my opinion now. You might have a different strategy. But in my strategy, those are the main course. NVIDIA, Mag 7, Visa, Chipotle, dessert. Just dessert. If I can only choose the main course or dessert, I choose the main course. If I can only invest in S&P 500 information technology ETFs or these, I stick to these. Why you say that, Richard? Why would you stick to those? Well, here's what I'm telling you guys. See, when you're concentrated in one stock, 2 stocks, 3 stocks, 7 stocks, especially if they're in the same industry and that industry goes sideways, or they go sideways, that one company goes sideways, and that's where all the eggs are, that's not good. See, I'd rather be over here where I got the top 500 companies in America across every industry, every sector. So if the tech sector has a bad quarter, maybe energy, maybe consumer discretionary, maybe real estate, right? Healthcare, right? Maybe they have good quarters. Maybe they had a good quarter. So it didn't drag me down just because the tech sector didn't do well. Because I got another 10 or 11 other sectors that could do well. That's why I love the S&P 500 as my baseline, right? That's my baseline. Because I got every industry, every sector, all big boys. All big boys. So that's what I'm telling you. right? So make sure when you're thinking about paper assets and you're trying to build this thing out over the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years, you ask yourself, am I concentrated or am I diversified? Now, some people might say, well, Richard, you're not diversified at all if you're 100% in equities. That's your opinion. I'm okay with that. See, I'm looking for growth. I'll take that risk. I'm okay with that risk. I'm okay with being in all equities because I'm looking for the maximum growth I can get. I will move out of equities when I'm done growing. But while I'm growing, I'm still earning. So I don't worry about a downturn in the stock market when I'm growing because I don't stop earning until I stop growing. When I stop growing, I stop earning because I'm gonna need my assets to take care of me. But while I'm growing, I'm making a ton of money over here, man, every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. So I can ride any storm over the next 10 years because I got all this income over here. And I got a healthy reserve fund over here, right? So while I'm earning, I'm protected because of my income and my cash reserves. So I don't mind 100% in equities when I'm growing. Now, when I'm not growing anymore and I'm not earning anymore, then I got to protect my wealth. I pull it out of equities and I put it somewhere safe to get income. That's the strategy over the next 10 years. Simple and that's it. But make sure you got the meat and potatoes, and then the dessert over here is just that extra. Don't just eat dessert, guys. Don't just be invested in just the dessert. Because if that dessert goes sideways on you, it ain't pretty. Although I'm in NVIDIA, and I know how to pronounce it for those of you that think I don't know how to pronounce it. I know it's NVIDIA, but I pronounce it NVIDIA because that's the way I like to pronounce it. I don't know why people got a problem with that. Stop having a problem with that, right? I know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna pronounce it the way I want to. So be careful with that. Just make sure you look at that portfolio and you make sure what are you trying to get accomplished and when you want to accomplish it. For me, it's 10 years. So I'm all growth, but I'm still earning. I'm still earning. Because I know in 10 years, I'm not going to be earning as much anymore. Matter of fact, I may shut the whole thing down in 10 years and be 100% reliant on my investments to take care of me. At that point, I will come out of growth because I'm done growing. Once I triple the net worth, I'm done growing. As soon as I triple the net worth, I'm done growing, so I can take my money out of the equities and I can go put it in laddered CDs. I can go put it in U.S. Treasuries. I can put it in money markets. I can put it in real estate that I own free and clear and just get a nice rental income check. I can go get me a triple net or absolute net lease from, say, Walgreens or CVS, right? 20, 25-year absolute net lease where I pay nothing other than just get a check. They pay the property taxes, they pay the property insurance, they do certain repair and maintenance. All I do is just get a check. That's income. That's protecting my principal and getting income. But I'm not at that stage right now. I'm not at the income stage. I'm at the growth stage. I got to triple the net worth before I can move into the income stage. That's the type of exercise you need to be having with yourself. Here's where I'm at today, self, right? I'm earning still, but here's where my net worth is. I'm at $500,000 net worth, right? That's what you got to say to yourself. Hypothetically, let's say you say to yourself, I'm at $500,000 net worth, but I need to be at $1.5 million over the next 10 years. So I need to 3x. Right? I need a 2x. Well, 2x, 3x, 1.5. I ain't good with math. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? So instead of having 500,000, I need to be at 1.5 over the next 10 years. So what do you say to yourself? You say, well, okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm at 500,000. I'm earning this money. I got the right behavior with money because I don't have no credit card debt. I don't have big loan for car payments and all that crap that's going to eat away at my investing power. I don't got the credit card debt. I don't got the car loan debt. I got a modest house that takes up, 15% of my income, 20% of my income max. I don't got this big old house that I'm taking up 50% of my income so I can't invest in nothing other than this house. So I got 15 or 20% of my income taken care of by the house. No credit card debt, no car loan debt. I got about $5,000 a month I can invest. And I want to take that $5,000 a month every month for the next 10 years and go from $500,000 in net worth to a 1.5. That's how you got to plan, guys. That's how you got to plan. When I'm talking to people in my one-on-one sessions through my company, RF Financial Consulting, I do these 1 hour one-on-one sessions. I just had a session I mentioned earlier in the chat, had a session yesterday with a wonderful gentleman out of Virginia, sharp guy. And he and I just talked about what? Paper assets. We talked about strategy. We talked about, hey, here's what the portfolio I got, Richard. Some of these suckers have been losers. Should I sell them? Should I get out of them? And I said, you dang on right, man. Cut them losers. See, that's one thing we do as retail investors. We hold on to losers too long. The rich people don't do that. Rich people do not hold on to losers. They sell them. Take the tax write-off, reinvest that thing into something else that could be a winner. So I said, no, man, cut them losers. Now, this guy's savvy. He knows what he's doing. He ain't no beginner that's just getting into this thing and petrified and scared to death. He's in the game. He's a business owner. He makes a lot of money. He does well. But he just wanted another ear. He said, Richard, I've been watching you on YouTube, and man, you're straight to the point. You don't hold nothing back. You seem like a trustworthy guy. I need to bounce some stuff off you. See, people like that make an investment in themselves. They don't worry about this little fee I charge them to do this one-on-one. That's nothing to them. What they're looking for is confirmation. They're looking for clarity. I provide people clarity, especially at that level, because I'm used to dealing with people at that level because I was a banker for 25 years. And all my clients were millionaires, multi-millionaires, all of them, millionaires, multi-millionaires, all of them. So when I'm talking to a guy that's already probably got a net worth higher than mine, I know how to talk to him because I know what they're looking for. They're not looking for me to hold their hand. They're looking for me to provide clarity, to confirm what they're thinking. So all I'm telling you guys is get yourself some clarity, right? Figure out what you're trying to get done and execute. Execute. I've already walked you through what I'm doing. My goal is to keep earning like a banshee, making this money as much as I can make. And then I'm going to take 80% of it and invest it. I'm going to live on 20%. I'm going to take 80% of the money that I make and I'm going to invest it over these next 10 years and I'm going to triple my net worth. And the video, I'm hoping, is one of those investments I put it in to do that. I'm going to watch it like a hawk though, but that's one of the investments I'm going to use. But I'm going to take 80% of my money. I'm going to live on 20%. Well, God, how are you going to do that? You got this house, you got all this, guys. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to take 80% of my money and I'm going to put it over here to multiply it. I'm not going to have no car loan debt. I'm not going to have no credit card debt. I'm not going to be taking trips around the world. I'm not going to be buying Gucci handbags. Although I can buy all that stuff if I want to. I'm not. No Gucci handbags. I'm not going to have car loans. I'm not going to have credit card debt. I'm not going to have no student loan debt. I'm not going to do excess travel. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to take 80% of the money that I earn and I'm going to invest it because I got a window that's closing on me. I got a 10-year, this thing closing. I'm 56, guys. It's closing. I want to be done with this as soon as I can get to that triple-digit net worth that I'm talking about. As soon as I can get there, I'm done. I'm giving myself 10 years, but I get there in 5, I'm done. That's one of the reasons why I'm heavy on the video, because I think it can accelerate things for me. I'm not going to abandon my 50, 30, 20. I'm not going to abandon that. But I think the video, from what I've seen, gives me a real good opportunity, guys, to make this thing happen. But I got to watch it like a hawk, right? Because you got a lot of people betting against it. You got $38 billion in short positions. Goodness gracious. A lot of people want to see this thing fail, man. So we got to watch it. We got to watch ourselves. We got to watch the company. We got to watch what the CEO does. We got to watch the strategic acquisitions that this company makes, because that's going to be important. See, these are the things I'm going to be watching, guys. I'm going to be watching the strategic acquisitions that they make over these next few years. See what they're buying with all this free cash, all this cash reserve. What are they doing with the cash reserve? What products are they coming out with, and who are using those products? Who's using that Blackwell chip that's getting ready to come out? Who's going to use the H200? And anything else that's in the pipeline? What type of R&D are these guys doing? See, I'm going to be reading and looking for that information because that's important. Now, I'm not going to panic, guys, if they come out with Q2 numbers and the percentage above this and the percentage above that is not triple digits. They can't maintain that level of growth forever. You just can't. So let's not, they did 262% of revenue year over year in Q1, and this time they only did 89%. What's happening to the company? Guys, 89% is pretty dang on good, my opinion, right? That's pretty dang on good. Where you don't want to see happen is if they say we're going to do this and then they don't hit that. That's what you don't want to see. But if they're still killing it just because they didn't do 262, they did 125, and you're thinking, oh, golly, the sky's falling in. They didn't do, no. Even if they don't do triple digits, guys, that doesn't mean they're not doing well. What you want to watch for, and what I'm going to be watching for, is if they're not hitting expectations. Okay, market, we're going to do this. And then the doggone earnings report come out. They don't come nowhere close to that. That's what you want to look for. So if you start seeing red flags like that, or you start seeing where Meta has come out on record and said, you know something, we severed ties with NVIDIA. We're not going to be purchasing their H200 GPU chip. Something like that, that you got to poke your head out the sand and figure out what's going on with that one. You don't want to lose a major client like that. Right? You don't want to. So those are the things I'm going to be looking out for and listening to, right? And then I'm going to continue to look at who is betting against the stock. So periodically, I'm going to be looking at what short positions are out there and how much. Because see, those short positions will tell you something, guys, if you just watch them. If that thing starts to continue to increase, somebody knows something. Because I'm telling you guys, ain't none but big boys doing that. I'm talking about big boys, billionaires. Wall Street hedge funds, people like that are putting those positions in there. And if they know something I don't know, I need to find out what they know. Right? I don't want to be on the short end of this thing. So I'm going to be looking for stuff like that, poking my nose around and trying to figure out, and then just continue to reaffirm what I'm trying to get accomplished. Just to continue reaffirming in my mind, what are you trying to get accomplished, Richard? Are you there? How do you feel about it? Right? Are you still able to sleep at night? Is this giving you too much anxiety? Because no amount of money is worth that. No amount of money is worth me losing my mental capacity to be able to have a good day and an enjoyable day. No stock is that important to me. No amount of money is that important to me. I never want to lose who I am and start focusing on that more than I focus on helping you guys. I don't want to be around here all day worrying about that. And if it gets to that point, then it's not worth it. So you got to just mental checkup, financial checkup, right? Mental checkup, financial checkup. Always be checking on those things. Do a mental evaluation, do a financial evaluation, guys, periodically. Figure out where you're spending your time up here. During your day, what are you thinking about? I shouldn't be thinking about if I'm going to lose money on a stock. That's not what I should be thinking about all day. If you're in that position, you may want to rethink what you're doing. Maybe you exit, go to something else that you don't have to think about it all day long, right? So that's the mental checkup I do. If I get to a point where I'm too much in this thing, it ain't worth it. Not for me, it ain't. Because it's not worth my mental space. I need to be focused on good things and helping people and focused on them. Not focused on, oh golly, Nvidia dropped by 40 points today. Oh God, the gracious, dropped by $40 a day. I'm like, should I check? I don't want to be in that. So just, you know what I'm saying? So just be careful. Make sure the mental is good. Make sure the financial plan, you're checking on it, you're measuring it, it's actionable, it's reasonable. And as long as you're doing that, keep earning, right? Keep earning as much as you can earn, side hustles, right? Keep earning, right? Earn. And then we got to keep what we earn. How do we do that? Not buy unnecessary stuff. That's how we keep what we earn, is by not buying unnecessary stuff, right? And then we do what? We invest what we keep. We invest what we keep. So keep that in mind, guys, and I think we'll all be okay, right? We will all be okay. I will continue to make videos about the paper assets that I'm buying. Obviously, I had a heavy week on the video this week leading up to the split. But next week, we'll get back to our normal stuff on the channel where we're going to just be covering, like we did today, just normal stuff, what's happening in the economy. And then occasionally we'll throw Nvidia in there, but we're not going to spend all next week on that. I've done what I planned on doing on that, and I just keep watching it. Keep watching it, keep my eye on it, and I will continue to communicate to you guys how I feel about it. It just won't be on a daily basis. All right, so appreciate y'all, man. Lock it in with a thumbs up. Hey, get down that description box, click on that Moomoo link, get yourself, 15 free stocks, publicly traded companies. When you sign up for Moomoo today, put $1,000 in the account, you're going to get 15 free publicly traded stocks. Moomoo picks the stocks. And, okay, let me see which ones I want. Give me those 15. Matter of fact, just give me all 15 of Nvidia. It ain't like that, guys. So please, don't. Yeah, it ain't like that. You can't just pick 15 Nvidias. You can't do that. I wish you could, but you can't. So just 15 free stocks when you put $1,000 in the account. If you put $100 in the account, they give you 5 free stocks. Here's the thing, though. Now you got a brokerage app where you can start, execute. So the brokerage app I'm using, that's my brokerage app of choice. That's what I'll be using over these next 10 years to triple my net worth. So if you're interested in that offer, get down in the description box, click on that Moomoo link, and go get your free stock. Go get that free money. And then do me a favor, send me an email through my website to let me know you've opened the Moomoo account, and I'm gonna send you some tutorial videos to help you learn how to use the app, okay? That's my gift to you. I'm gonna send you those tutorials, and I'm gonna send you my wealth transfer blueprint 1.0, 2.0, so that you know exactly what I'm buying when I'm buying paper assets. You can copy my plan. You don't have to take any of the plan, but at least you know the guy you're listening to on YouTube, this is what he's buying, right? So sign up for Moomoo. If you want the 15 free stocks, put 1,000 in. If you only want the 5 free stocks, put 100 in, and then be ready to go to buy some paper assets on June 10th when the market opens again at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Be ready to rock and roll. Go build this wealth, right? Paper assets, if done properly, guys, has a historical track record of making people more money, building their wealth. Don't be afraid of it. You don't have to be the expert. Just know your plan, know what you're trying to get accomplished, and be willing to do what? Execute. So get down in the description box and click on that Moomoo link, and let's get going. Send me that email, like I said, so I can send you that information to get you off to a really quick start and put you in a position where you're ready to go on Monday, June 10th, to start building your wealth through paper assets. Also, when you're down there, click on the website link, www.richardfain.net. That's my website. I got digital products on that website. Many hundreds of you have already taken advantage of the website, purchased digital products. Hundreds of you have already signed up for the private mentorship club that I offer through the website, where I'm your personal mentor. I'm your financial mentor, right? But it's through the website. It's through the private mentorship club. How does that look? You have access to me through email, direct email, through the Discord platform that I use, through the website. You got direct access to me through email. You also are able to get on our 90-minute private live streams that we do every single Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time to ask questions. It's a Q&A, so it's not like the videos that I'm doing here where I'm covering different subjects. It's just a 90-minute, 2-hour Q&A where I'm taking questions from other club members. And it's nice because it may be a question you didn't think of, but if you're on the call and you hear the question and you hear my answer, you'd be like, oh, I was thinking about that too. So it's always good to be on those calls, guys, because you never know what questions are going to come from your fellow club members. And it may be something that will help you collapse time frames and get to your freedom quicker. So I think that's one of the main perks of being on the mentorship club is the live streams. I think that's one of the main perks, because I'm on there for an hour and a half to 2 hours every Monday, Q&A style. I think that's one of the biggest perks. Also, one of the biggest perks is you're aligned and around people who are thinking like you're thinking, financial freedom, right? You got almost 600 people over there thinking financial freedom right now. They're thinking, how do I get to that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Them are the people I want to be hanging around with. I don't want to be hanging around with people over here that don't even know what a pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow. What is that? What is a rainbow? You mean to tell me there's a pot of gold at the end of my rainbow? No, you got to build that. You got a pot there. It ain't no gold in it, though, unless you put something in it. Yeah, there's a pot there. It's probably going to be empty unless you put something in it. So you want to get over here with people who want some gold in their pot at the end of the rainbow. Not these people over here that don't even know there's a pot at the end of the rainbow. So please be careful with that. Align yourself with people who are going the direction you're going is what I'm saying. And that can give you encouragement. You can go to that community chat and say, guys, I had a rough day. Here's what I'm thinking. Y'all give me something on this. And people will chime in and do their best to give you good, solid, reasonable, comments. Right? No one's there to tell you what to do. That's on you. I'm a firm believer in that. We ain't telling people what to do over there. What we're doing is saying, hey, here's the way I'm doing. And if that's something that you want to take a look at, here's what I'm doing. Right? Everything people doing over there don't have to be what I'm doing, guys. There are people over there that invest in different individual stocks. They invest in different ETFs. That's okay. My only pet peeve is we don't tell people what to do over there. That's my only pet peeve. I don't want no propaganda in there. I don't want no links taking people to other websites in there. I don't want any of that crap. But I don't have a problem with you saying, hey, I know you like this, but this is what I buy. And this is the return it's giving me. You may want to check it out. Nothing wrong with that. Ain't got no problem with that. As long as we're not over there trying to drive people somewhere else or be the expert. As long as we ain't doing that and we're just helping people, I'm cool with that. That's what I love about having that group is people over there. That's what they're there for. They're there for the camaraderie. They're there for the like-mindedness. And then occasionally, if they need me, they know I'm there. Right? And I'm going to be a straight shooter with them. Same way I am on this YouTube channel, I'm the same way in that private life. If I don't think you're doing something right, I'm going to politely tell you that. People know that. If I don't think you doing something I don't think you should be doing over there, I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to politely tell you that. Now, if you can't take that, then bounce. Because at the end of the day, it's about the people over there for me. Right? It's about taking care of these people that are over there, because a lot of these people are people who are brand new at this. And I don't need them shocked because somebody is over here with their own ideology and they're trying to just force it on something. No, that ain't gonna happen. So know this, you'll be safe over there, because I'm monitoring this thing like I said, like one of them hawks, five miles up in the air. I can see that little rodent running around. That's how I'm watching every day. So everything that goes on there, I know about, and I'm gonna make sure it's a safe place for you. So consider getting over there. Last thing, get down in the description box and click on that Instagram link. Give your boy a follow on Instagram. If you're Instagram, give me a follow. Send me a DM. Let me know you're rocking with me so I can say thank you. It's Richard Fain, Millionaire Mentor Instagram page. Do me that favor. I appreciate you. Well, guys, go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Do something nice for yourself. Not go spend money now. I'm not talking about go out. Oh yeah, Richard said go treat myself. So I'm going to Ruth Chris and get me a tomahawk steak. No, that's not what I said. I said treat yourself. I'm talking about do something nice for yourself that don't cost no money. I don't want you going to Ruth Chris and paying $200 for a tomahawk steak. I don't even know if they got tomahawk steaks there, but it sounds good. So don't do that. Don't. Just do something nice for yourself. Take a walk. Go get some fresh air, right? Go on a trail or something. You know, go do some meditation. Just do something for you. And then the next thing I'm gonna ask you to do this weekend is do something nice for someone else. Do something nice for you that doesn't involve money and spending money, and then do something nice for somebody else that doesn't involve spending money. Do those two things. I think you'll feel better about you. I think you'll feel better about this world. I just think it'll be a good exercise for you. We don't take enough time out to do that, and me included. I'm in that too. And I'm in the same boat. I'm gonna do something nice for me, and I'm also do something nice for somebody else this weekend. You do the same, all right? Well, appreciate y'all, man. Lock it in for a thumbs up before you get out of here. Appreciate you. Thoughts become things. See it in your mind. Hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. Peace.